My name is Ian Macgillivray. I live in Inverness in Scotland, and I own a small company called SigmaPM Limited. We are civil engineering consultants. We design projects, we prepare contracts, and we do the contract management of the construction phase. Our projects are mostly small infrastructure project sections of road, path, cycle path, car park. We also do servicing of these sites with public toilets and other facilities as well. So most of these projects are in the north of Scotland, which is a very big area, and we service a range of clients from private sector individuals to government departments to local council areas. So that's what we do. Well, before I started the company, I worked in the Highland Council design office, and I was a design team leader. So we introduced the use of the AutoCAD suite of 3D design tools, InfraWorks and Civil 3D, and I had a small team who had no knowledge, and we built up that knowledge, and we became quite good at preparing the schemes and the drawings. I then left the council and wanted to do similar but smaller projects, and I found it difficult in Scotland to find people with the right skills. A lot of the technicians have 2D skills. They can use AutoCAD. They weren't really familiar with InfraWorks, and they were just learning to use Civil 3D. So they'd used other types of software beforehand. So I had an arrangement with people when the company started off. The workload that I had then became too much for them, and I needed a regular organization or individuals that I could deal with. I ended up looking worldwide rather than in Scotland. I couldn't find resource in Scotland, and I came into contact with Civil Outsourcing and started dealing with Aidedo. We did some trial projects together, which were done very quickly and effectively, much better for me than my previous arrangements. So we got into arrangement where we have several projects. I think we've done over 20 projects with Aiden's team just now. We deal with different people in the organization, and the work is distributed around to suit the program. Previously, I was used to waiting up to 2 weeks to get a drawing done, whereas now with Aiden's team, we get the drawings usually the next day or 2 days, which is very quick, and that's very important for us. But I think the biggest advantage is the skill set of the staff and the team in working in a 3D environment and producing output, whether it be drawings or 3D fly-through. It provides what I need quickly, and the clients are very impressed with the quality of the 3D modeling, whether it just be in Civil 3D or InfraWorks. And so the outputs not only meet my objectives that my clients have set me, but that it's done quickly and in a high quality way, because the skills of Aiden's team are generally better than what I've worked with in Scotland. So I don't know if it's the education, if it's the culture, or the skills, or the set of clients that you work for, but we quickly developed a good working relationship. Aiden introduced me to Slack, and that has been a good benefit for my team, both in terms of transfer of ideas, transfer of decisions, transfer of instructions, sharing of models, PDF files, and I have adapted it for other things as well. So I don't think Aidan can take all the credit for Slack, but he certainly introduced me to it, and it's been a great asset. The price that you do the work for is about half of what I was paying when I used a Scottish organisation, but in some ways that doesn't matter, because now I have your support. I know how much it's going to cost, and I know how long certain projects will take, and so I can price it into my tender when I am pricing for works. But the advantage is, price is one thing, but it's the speed of response and the quality of the response is more important. Another advantage that you offer is that because the time zone difference is different, I can prepare my work and comments and markups during the day, issue it at the end of my working day. You get it at the start of your day, and so by the time I restart work the next morning, the work is already done. So the time difference works in my favor, maybe not in your favor. So I think you offer very good value, but it's not just the hourly rate, it's the speed at which you do the work. I think, well, technology moves quite fast nowadays. When I started as an engineer, I used to do drawings with ink on drawing paper. Then AutoCAD or the digital modeling came in I suppose it was the late 1980s, and then technology has changed faster and faster as we go on. So keeping up to date with that technology is important, and many organizations, bigger organizations, don't keep their staff up to date because the AutoCAD suite of products keeps changing. In order for me as a business to impress my clients, I need to be seen to be up to date with that technology. As a small company, I couldn't afford to have the resources and keep training people, so it makes sense for me to outsource to an organization, especially one that we have a relationship with, that we know the people and we're dealing with the same people every time. It's not just a drawing shop that doesn't have any personal interaction. So having that combination of people with the right skills, a customer-focused ethos are key things in selling. So I think it's certainly in Europe there is a lack of resource. It is serviced by various parts in Asia. There are a lot of companies from India are competing. I didn't really know very much about Vietnam until I met with Aidan. So I think getting the quality of the service known is a challenge, because I'm sure there are lots of people who would like the services you offer, but it's just a question of connecting you to those people. But I'm happy to recommend civil outsourcing to clients, and I've passed on contact details. But it's always difficult. In our business, we used to say it takes you 3 years of discussion with potential clients before they actually become a client. So it's not like buying a car. You can go in and just decide what you want and buy it. It takes several years to build things up, and then the relationships last for longer. I quite like working that way because I have ideas in my brain and I can sketch them or mark things up, and then when you draw it, I then get a different idea or a different way of doing it. So I like that iterative, backwards and forwards. You have ideas, I have ideas, and that works well. for me. It's the same as when you are in the office where everyone is in the same office. There is a lot of talk where you talk about ideas and sketch ideas, and you've introduced me to Slack, which I find a very useful tool. I'd never heard of it. I don't have any problem with dealing with different standards, or the fact we drive on the left-hand side of the road, you drive on the right-hand side of the road, but you can still design roads for the UK. It's not a problem. The number one reason is that collaboratively we can get the end design products in a collaborative way, so that we can discuss and we can communicate and incorporate your ideas and my ideas in the end product. So as a way of working, it gives a good end product. Secondly, your skills in the use of the software, 3D modeling software, are excellent and generally much better than I would find in Scotland. And I'll give you the third reason would be your response times are very quick compared to what we're used to. So we can get something done quicker in Vietnam than we can in Scotland. And then value for money is important, but it's not the main reason I would recommend you. It's the quality of the service. And for you as a company, you don't want to be the cheapest around, even though you probably are. You're very cost effective, but cost is less important than quality in the design of a project, and you certainly give us the quality that we are expecting.